What would you do if the person you trusted most started flinching every time your hand brushed against their phone? It was 2:17 a.m. in our apartment on West 56th Street in Manhattan, the city outside glowing in that quiet, electric way it does before dawn. I wasn't even trying to snoop. I was just reaching across the nightstand for my charger when my fingers accidentally tapped her phone screen. It lit up for half a second, just enough for me to see a message preview. Miss you already. Tonight was worth the risk. Before I could process it, she shot upright like I'd pulled a trigger. Why are you touching my phone? She snapped, her voice sharp, panicked, guilty. I froze. Not because of the message, but because of how fast she grabbed it. And that's when I realized. I had no idea who I was sleeping next to. Because what I discovered the next night would destroy everything I thought I knew about my wife. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. At first, I told myself it was nothing. A coworker. A misunderstanding. People don't just throw away 5 years of marriage over a text. But something had shifted. Claire used to leave her phone anywhere. Kitchen counter, couch, bathroom sink. Suddenly, it was glued to her hand. Face down. Always on silent. Even in the shower, she'd take it with her, locking the bathroom door like I was a stranger. And then there was the distance. She stopped laughing at my jokes. Stopped asking about my day. Conversations turned into one-word answers, like I was an inconvenience she tolerated. Everything okay? I asked one evening over dinner at a small place on 9th Avenue. She didn't even look up from her wine. Yeah, just tired. But she wasn't tired. She was elsewhere. The humiliation didn't hit me all at once. It crept in. The way she'd smile at her screen and then go cold when she looked at me. The way she started dressing better, but not for me. I began noticing patterns. Late work meetings in Midtown. Ubers to places she couldn't quite explain. A receipt I found in her coat pocket from a hotel near Times Square, the Westin. One night stay. We lived 15 minutes away. That night, I sat alone in our living room, the city lights flickering through the blinds, and something inside me cracked. I wasn't crazy. She was cheating. The breakdown came quietly. No screaming. No confrontation. Just me sitting on the edge of the couch at 3 a.m., staring at nothing, feeling like my chest had collapsed inward. But here's the thing about breaking. Sometimes it doesn't make you weak. Sometimes it makes you dangerous. I stopped asking questions. Stopped reacting. Started watching. I bought a second phone. Installed tracking software on our shared iCloud, something she forgot we even had connected. Slowly, piece by piece, the truth came together like a puzzle I never wanted to finish. His name was Eric, a finance guy she met during a conference in Chicago months ago. Married. Of course. They weren't just flirting. They had routines. Tuesday nights at a bar in Hell's Kitchen. Thursdays at that same hotel. I saw messages. Photos. Plans. Can't wait to feel you again. Your husband has no idea. That one stayed with me. Because he was right. At least, he thought he was. The arrogance of it all was what fueled me. The way they talked about me like I was nothing. Like I was some obstacle they'd eventually discard. So I decided not to confront them. I decided to ruin them. Quietly. Legally. Completely. First, I documented everything. Screenshots. Dates. Locations. I hired a private investigator. Old guy named Harris who knew every back alley and hotel camera in Manhattan. Within 2 weeks, I had photos. Clear ones. Them walking into the Westin together. Kissing outside a parking garage on 43rd Street. No denying it. Then I found Eric's wife. Her name was Melissa. Lived in Brooklyn. 2 kids. I didn't contact her yet. Not yet. Instead, I went to a lawyer. A sharp woman in a glass office downtown who didn't blink when I laid it all out. Adultery, she said, flipping through the photos. In New York, it still matters. Especially with assets involved. Claire didn't know it, but everything we owned was about to shift. I separated finances. Moved accounts. Prepared documents. And then, I waited. The exposure had to be perfect. Public. Irreversible. Claire thought she was untouchable. That I was too passive to fight back. So I gave her exactly what she expected. I pretended everything was fine. Until her birthday. She wanted a dinner. Something small but classy. Invited friends. Even Eric showed up, bold enough to stand in the same room as me, shaking my hand like we were strangers. I smiled. Played along. Watched. The restaurant was packed. Dim lighting, soft jazz humming in the background. At exactly 9:12 p.m., I stood up, tapped my glass. Can I say something? Claire smiled, a little surprised. Of course. I pulled out my phone, connected it to the screen behind the bar, and pressed play. The room went silent as the first photo appeared. Claire and Eric, outside the hotel. Then another, and another. Texts followed. Their messages, their plans, their jokes about me. You could hear people whispering, chairs shifting. Someone muttered, "Oh my God." Claire's face drained of color. "Stop it," she whispered. Eric stood up, already backing away. I didn't stop. I let it all play. Every last piece. Then I looked at Melissa, who I had invited personally without Eric knowing. She was already crying. "Thought you deserved the truth," I said quietly. The fallout was immediate. Claire tried to talk, to explain, to twist it, but it was over. Legally, she got nothing. The evidence was airtight. The betrayal undeniable. Socially, she was done. Friends disappeared. Her job quietly let her go a month later. Eric? His life collapsed faster. Divorce. Public scandal. Reputation ruined. As for me, I moved out of Manhattan. Got a small place upstate where the nights were quiet and the air didn't carry memories. Sometimes, I still think about that moment. 2:17 a.m. The glow of her phone. How everything changed in half a second. I don't feel anger anymore. Just clarity. Because the truth is, I didn't lose my wife that night. I realized I never really had her. And in the silence of my new life, that understanding echoes louder than anything she ever said. The end.